Hello out there, YouTube. It's glad to be back doing this live. Uh, Project Console episode 50. I've done 50 of these already. Um, the title of this one is "Pay Me in Peanuts and Crackerjacks. I don't care if I ever come back." So before we get on to our topics, I'd like my panelists to introduce himself.
Yo, it's me, Mr. Red Fox. Glad to be on another one.
Hey, glad to have you. So, we've it's been kind of a big week in gaming. Certain things have happened, mainly pertaining to Bayonetta. Um, it was one of those situations where I had one opinion, and then as more information came out, the opinion changed. So, why this cast has the title? Uh, Apparently, the voice actors of Bayonetta came out. It was over the weekend and called for people to boycott the game because she felt like she was being underpaid for her work. Uh, it made it sound like that she was only getting paid $4,000. That they were only paying her $4,000. Well, it turns out a few days later, as more information came out about what happened and Hideki Kamiya had his conniption fit on Twitter, it turns out that she was lying by omission. Apparently, she was getting paid, and this is a tweet by Jason Schreiber. Apparently, she was getting paid. The deal was that she'd get paid like around in between around 1,000 to 5,000 per session, which she would have had five. So she would have five sessions. So she could have made around $20,000 a session. But apparently she wanted six figures. She wanted more money, and the deal and the talks just fell apart after that. So, what are your thoughts?
What do I think? I don't have enough information to form a definitive opinion on it. Here's what I'm going to say. If it's true that she was underpaid, either for the 4,000 or for the the 1,000 per session, the 1,000 per session. Because here's the thing, I'm not going to say she's lying, because what if the typical amount of sessions that she does in order to, do the dialogue for a Bayonetta game is 4 sessions?
Yeah.
So is she lying if she says that she was offered $4,000?
Well, if she was offered, if that was the, again, she doesn't talk about the inner workings of the deal. I mean, she already.
No, that's what I'm saying. If someone says that they were offered $4,000 to voice a role, and I mean, this woman has voiced Bayonetta multiple times in 2 other games.
Yeah.
And she knows how much, in terms of dialogue, how many sessions it takes. And they to her, that's a lowball offer. 1,000 per session. Then she would be right in saying that they offered me $4,000.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, I don't necessarily want to say she was lying. Because if someone said, hey, I'm going to pay you $25 an hour to do a job and it's going to take you 4 hours to do it, they offer you $100 to do a job.
Yeah.
On the other end of the spectrum, there's something going on because people's Twitter accounts have been suspended. So,
well, I mean,
what I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. But what I will say is the evidence says that there has to be some truth in it because, like I said, Platinum has not been having a good time lately.
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking when this first story came out. I was like, Platinum's been having a pretty rough year. They've
Yeah.
you had that dumpster fire that was the
Babylon Falls.
fall. You had
Yeah.
some. This was I think last year. They had to do a Kickstarter to multiplat Wonderful 101. So
Yeah.
there's been a lot of weird things going on in Platinum. A lot of decisions that are, but at the
And
same
plus,
time,
they took the money from Tencent.
yeah,
They
yeah, I
took
think
that
Tencent,
I think Tencent bought like 25-30% of the company.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause
So
Platinum's games don't, they don't sell gangbusters. I mean, they do.
no,
Oh,
they're niche games.
yeah, yeah,
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like the people who have this belief that every game needs to be, it sold a cajillion copies. That's unrealistic.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
some games, like JRPGs, aside from Final Fantasy VII, has always been niche. Okay, don't expect a JRPG to hit all four quadrants of gaming.
Yeah.
Don't expect that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, really, I think where Platinum fucked up is that they tried to get too big, too quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we opened up a new studio. I'm like, where the fuck did you get the money to open up a new studio? Because
I mean-
Platinum has always been like, one
Yeah,
bad
they-
game from bankruptcy.
And they decided to make a deal with one of the devils of the gaming industry, Square Enix.
Tencent.
Tencent too. That's a good. Yeah, they're no angels either. Tencent. Yeah, making deals with Square Enix, they royally screwed them over. But here's the big.
but
Here's the big problem about how she went about this. She broke her NDA to come out with this information, and if it turns out that
because
she's
she
pulling
felt
a
like
fast
she wasn't
one,
getting paid what she felt was a fair remuneration.
yeah, I mean I understand that, but if it turns out she's pulling a fast one, she could potentially ruin her career. So,
Probably
again,
not.
yeah, you don't think so?
No.
I just figure most people would look at.
Well, if you fuck over a huge company, people are like, that's a big thing. You fuck up Platinum, I mean, shit. Think about all the people who fucked over Platinum.
That is, you know what? That's
Sega,
that's a good point.
Square Enix,
Yeah,
Sony,
yeah.
Nintendo. Don't nobody give a fuck about Platinum. I mean, I hate to say that.
That you know what? That's a good point. Yeah, if it was like,
You're like, oh, she might ruin her career. She'll be fine. Listen. Here's how much. Clearly, there was some money involved because Jennifer Hale is doing her best impression of the lady's voice from the first two games. They know whose voice, because I'm like, I can't tell the difference. I mean, like when she started talking longer than a short, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's clearly not the same lady. Not quite. It's like that new Chucky movie that came out where Mark Hamill was like, we're not gonna get Brad Dourif, we're gonna get Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill was literally just doing a copy of Brad Dourif. It's like, well, shit, it's the same. He's doing the same fucking voice.
I mean, when I first saw the trailer and heard her speak, I didn't even know they changed voice actresses until this information came out. I actually went back and listened to the trailer and be like, yeah, and then when I heard her talk, I was like, yeah, this is a different voice actress. So I was pretty amazed that Jennifer Hale was able to, mimic that voice pretty well.
Because the lady has been like, but this is like ultimately this is up on Platinum but we all know that they've been fucking up lately, and they probably didn't have the money to pay that lady what she probably deserved to be paid.
That was my
go ahead.
That was one of my thoughts too when I first heard it. It's like, yeah, Platinum's been in a sore space lately, so they were probably trying to undercut her. I don't know.
Yeah, they were like, look, what they should have been was honest. Like, look, we've been fucking up lately. It's not you, it's us. But this game needs to come out. You are the voice of Bayonetta. We will listen. If you will take a lower cut right now, we will make it right after the game comes out.
No, we'll offer you.
We will give you. We will take care of you.
Yeah.
And the lady's been voicing the character for fucking 2 other games. Plus, she probably recorded some shit for
Super Smash.
Didn't they have like a Bayonetta cameo in Star Fox Zero?
They're probably
or Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101.
Yeah, she's voiced that character in other shit. So isn't there like a Bayonetta anime where she voiced that character too? Yeah, my point is this, okay? It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And clearly they did not. This is up to the bigger company on why they didn't handle this better, and they didn't handle it better. So,
yeah,
not my problem. I don't care, but I'm not gonna be the person who's gonna demonize the lady. It's like, oh, how dare she say that? Because here's the thing, man. This is this woman's job.
Yeah.
And she wants to be, just because she's a voice actor doesn't mean she's not a professional. She wants to get paid. Just like everybody else. You do your job. You want to get fucking fairly compensated for doing your job.
Yeah.
Okay? And you don't want people lowballing you. So...
Yeah.
I think the truth is probably 2 extremes. I think that maybe she felt like she wasn't being fairly compensated. Maybe she came with a counter offer. Platinum was like, we can't do that. And she's like, well, can you do this? Something like that. It went back and forth, and they probably got to the point where she was done. She probably feels more offended that instead of just changing the voice entirely, they just got Jennifer Hale, who is doing a copy of her voice.
Yeah, she was very offended by that too.
And I don't blame her. Okay, it's like I was watching this movie, this animated movie, and rather than get Mark Hamill to voice the Joker, they just got Nolan North, who did a kind of not quite spot on. You can tell it's not Mark Hamill, but a imitation of Mark Hamill's Joker voice, and it was like, why didn't y'all just splurge for the extra money and get Mark Hamill? Yeah. So I'm not gonna be like, she did this, and I'm not gonna, because here's the thing, in our hobby, there is a large group of people who, unfortunately, happen to be males, who like to jump on women in the industry. And even if some of their grievances may be legitimate, it looks like a whole bunch of dude bros jumping on women because they can't get laid. Okay? I'm not going to be one of those people.
I maybe some of them, but again, it's a lot of people.
I don't even want to be lumped in with that group.
Various
opinions.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't want to be lumped in with that group. Okay? I don't want to be, because the thing is like, people love to stereotype people in our hobby that way. Oh, you're a bunch of losers. The only girlfriend you have is Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters.
Okay, yeah, what? Yeah.
That's the stereotype for people in our hobby. It doesn't help when people in our hobby going around shitting on females in gaming. Okay, really comes across as kind of a little strange. I'm not saying you need to white knight and gallivanting around and be like, oh, she's innocent. I'm just saying I don't have enough information to judge, but I can look at the circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence says that Platinum has been fucking up big over the last 2-3 years. None of their games have really been a hit. This game has to be fire.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, think of it like this, okay? Platinum, have you ever played a Mario game and you had 1 life left?
Yeah.
And you have to make it to the end of the level?
Yeah.
That's Platinum right now.
Yeah.
They can't afford 1 hit. They're little Mario too. They're not even big. They don't even have the mushroom where they can take that hit and be like, I'm fine, I'll make it. I have some invincibility flames to make it to the flagpole. No, they ain't got that. Okay. they have to be on point right now, and they're
Yep.
already fucking up.
Yep.
So once again, yeah, like I said, I don't want to call because the information that David Schreier said is that the typical remuneration is between $750 per session and $112.50.
That was it was let me go find the exact tweet real quick. I'm not misquoting people. Community. All right, here's the here's the direct quote from Jason Shriver's Twitter.
You mean Schreier?
Schreier, yeah, Jason Schreier. Platinum offered Helena Taylor, who is the voice actress of Bayonetta, between $3,000 and $4,000 per session for at least 5 sessions, according to its 2 people familiar with the deal in a documentation viewed by Bloomberg in response. The people
Well, here's
said
my question.
Taylor asked for 6 figures fee and residuals. Negotiations.
Oh, here's my question. Okay, there it is. She wanted residuals.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame her. She's been voicing this character for what? Let's see, when did Bayonetta come out? 2012?
2010.
2010? Over a decade.
Yeah.
She wanted to be paid. I don't blame her. You know, if you played a role for X amount of years, wouldn't you want to get paid?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're playing a certain role, you'd figure you'd want to raise. Especially if you've been doing it for a decade.
You'd want to get paid. She basically has embodied this character for X amount of years. She wants to get paid. And we all know that voice actors get shit on by the rest of the industry, typically speaking. It's only in the last 5 or 6 years when the voice actors union came about that they actually got a little bit of parity with other forms of acting. But it's still not great.
I mean, the thing about her payment was that the union, according to this other stuff I've come across, is that the union confirmed it, or however that works. So it wasn't just
they didn't disavow it.
Yeah, they didn't disavow it.
Yeah, the actors union, just basically is there to have your back if something jumps off. But if you want to negotiate a better deal, you can do that. She tried to negotiate a better deal, and they weren't going for it. She wanted residuals if the game was successful.
Yeah.
I can't blame her.
Yeah.
Like which would you rather have? A lump sum or a set amount of money for years and years after the product comes out?
Yeah, you want those royalty fees, and especially after embodying that character for
over a decade.
Over a decade.
If she basically a character that she put herself into, because let's keep it real, okay? Bayonetta's voice actress is just as important as like her physical things, because that English, like Bayonetta's voice in the first game let you know what she was about, but like when she started talking, it's like, oh, this bitch knows she's fine as hell.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't care. Look, I know I'm good looking. Get the fuck out of my face. Look, you better come with some stronger game than that, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what she was going off. And that really made that character, that's what made Bayonetta interesting. That's why, personally, I like Bayonetta more than Dante from Devil May Cry. I think Dante is just kind of fucking annoying. Actually, I liked the reboot from DMC, Dante.
Yeah, I liked it too. I'm one of the few people who actually thought, it was actually pretty good.
I'm like, this is actually how you reboot this character. And people are like, no, we want the old Dante. You mean the annoying, insipid, edgelord, zany ass Dante we'd had?
I mean,
No, go ahead.
As much as people shat on that game, They took a lot of cues from that game in Devil May Cry 5, so I don't.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know what to tell you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just people just like to just bitch and complain and whine about shit they don't like. That's all it is. All it is just people bitching and complaining. Like even this is just people bitching and complaining. Like the way is, like I said, we don't have. I don't have access to all the details, so I can't make a conclusion. What I can say is that I can look at the circumstantial evidence. I know that historically, voice actors have not been fairly compensated for their work.
Yeah.
Because in the grand scheme of things, when like a normal actor on TV is getting paid, even on the mid tier and low end, $10,000 an episode for a bit part, and these people being offered between $3,000 and $4,000. I know that Platinum has been fucking up over the last 3-4 years, like majorly fucking up.
Yeah.
So they probably are cash strapped. Like that studio that's making Star Ocean, they have been basically cash insolvent for the last 2 years, working on it while cash insolvent, which means they're going into debt to get this game out. Tri-Ace needs this game to sell well.
Yeah, that game.
This is do or die moment.
Yeah, that game doesn't look good. That game doesn't look good.
I'll be honest with you. The first trailer, I was like, "Oh, they just stole Xenoblade Chronicles Thunder, didn't they?" And then some of the later trailers I've seen for it make it look a lot better.
Yeah,
I mean, the gameplay concepts look a lot better. The actual gameplay looks dated as fuck. It looks like a PS3 game. But here's the thing: I've never been hung up on graphics with RPGs.
Yeah, see. Yeah,
a lot of people are. They're like, "Oh, it has to be." I'm like, I would rather them use an older engine that they know how to use and then fill the world with a lot of shit than shit to do, than have the latest, greatest graphics and then you play the game. It's like, oh, this is shit. There's nothing in here.
The thing about RPGs is you want all those resources to go into storytelling and battle mechanics and quests and all the other stuff.
Character development, all that type of shit.
Yeah.
But like I said, Tri-Ace hasn't made a great game since, in my opinion, Tri-Ace hasn't made a great game since they helped out on the development of, I want to say they helped out on the development of Bait and Katos here. Let me look this up because I don't want to say some shit that's wrong because, unlike many people on the internet, I just don't want to talk about shit that I don't know anything about. Tri-Ace. They worked on Star Ocean. So they've been working on Star Ocean a long time. Resonance of Fate. Valkyrie Profile. A whole bunch of bullshit. They haven't made a good... In my opinion, Tri-Ace hasn't made a great game since... they haven't made a game that they truly felt like they were doing something new and different since Radiata Stories, where you could recruit almost anybody. Yeah. Resonance of Fate sucks. Like, that overworld feels empty as fuck. But Star Ocean itself, I haven't enjoyed a good Star Ocean since the first Star Ocean. I think the first Star Ocean is my favorite game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Like, this game has to sell well.
Yeah.
And it's coming to everything. It's coming to Windows, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. This game is going to run like shit because they could barely get Star Ocean to come out well when it was coming out to the PS4 and the PS3. I don't know how the hell they're gonna get this shit to come out for 5 platforms.
Yeah.
They should drop the Xbox One and the PS4.
Yeah, they probably should. But is there anything you'd like to say about anything else you'd like to say about the Bayonetta
thing? like I said, I don't have enough information to fall on either side. Here's what I'll say: if the woman feels if the original voice actor of the character feels like she wasn't being fairly compensated and she wanted more, she's entitled to it. She helped build that character into what it is. Just as much as just as much as the developers, she helped build that character into what she was. And I know some people say, well, you can get any voice actor, but even the voice actor they got to replace her is just aping her. So, yeah. Come on. But on the other hand, Platinum been fucking up lately. Really, I think the best thing that can happen to Platinum is that they get bought out by Nintendo. I keep on saying this. Nintendo needs to just buy them. Nintendo needs to reach into their $8 billion coffers and just buy Platinum. You can get them for like $300 million. Not even 300. Get a bargain, like 50. Do like 50. You know, do 50. Put Hideki Kamiya, give him a team, put him in the corner. Hey, make Hideki Kamiya and his team, merge them in with Tokyo, with EAD1, and so then they could have a Legend of Zelda game that actually has a good combat system.
Yeah.
Because Breath of the Wild's combat system is shit. Yeah, I said it!
Well, the thing about they also need to take put Hideki Kamiya on a leash. Probably shouldn't have a Twitter.
No, either that, if they can't do that, make him the official Twitter spokesman of Nintendo where all he does is go after trolls. Yeah, just do that. Just have him go after trolls. You could bring back Iwata Asks and Nintendo Directs, but you have Hideki Kamiya as the anti-Iwata. The bald anti-Iwata. He's like, you can make it, I mean, I know this would be kind of disrespectful, but fuck it. You could say that you got some DNA from Iwata before you passed, and they cloned it, but the clone came out wrong. So it's like the negative Iwata. So he's bald, and he's mean, he's kind of an asshole, and that's Hideki Kamiya.
Yeah.
Like, you could have Iwata ass, but it's Hideki Kamiya. It's like, how'd you do that? Yeah, man, that's fucked up. It's like just cursing and shit. But Nintendo, see, here's the thing. That would be interesting, and Nintendo these days is very milquetoast and bland. So, no. But that would be, I'd be laughing. That'd be fun. That shit would be funny to me.
But moving on to our next topic, Unlaunch. So, NVIDIA announced a few days ago that they are unlaunching their RTX 3080 variant with the 12 gigabytes of RAM. So, the thing about the RTX, or not the RTX, the RTX 4080 variant with 12 gigabytes of RAM. So how this came about was that, a few weeks ago, when they had their big press conference to announce their new expensive ass cards, they announced the 4080, two variants, one with 12 gigabytes of RAM, one with 16 gigabytes of RAM. See, if it was just RAM, VRAM, people wouldn't have gotten upset. Like, oh, okay, so it's just a 4080 with less RAM. But that's not the case. The 4080 12 gig variant is an entirely different core. It also has an entirely different code name. It has the code name that's usually reserved for the 70 series cards. And so that's why people got upset. And they were charging the 4080 was going to be $900. So people freaked out and were like, "Well, holy crap! They're gonna charge $900 for basically a 70 variant card. That's pretty crazy." And the thing is,
I mean, it's NVIDIA. They've been doing it for years, and no one called them out on it. People just paid it, so.
Well, the thing is, NVIDIA has gotten very bold with their pricing schemes because of what was going on with the crypto mining scheme. So when they saw this and they saw people freak out, it's like, oh well, I guess we better just figure, a new word, unlaunch, and or move the card back to a newer date and rebrand it so that
Well, allow
we
me to
can
add
save
one
face.
thing. Allow me to add one thing. This was going on before crypto. This is
Yeah.
Nvidia. This is how Nvidia makes money. They say it's Nvidia, and they sell it. Everything is overpriced and really fucking expensive because it's Nvidia.
Oh yeah,
Okay, they've been doing this for years. This isn't just we just started doing this. They've been doing this. They were doing this 5-10 years ago. This ain't new.
Yeah, I mean, prices have been. The prices of cards have been.
No, Nvidia.
Or
Nvidia cards have
cards.
always been more expensive than everyone else's shit. Always.
I'm saying that the prices of Nvidia cards have been. They've been trying to squeeze more money out of each generation. Like the 2070, there's a 20 series variant. That was a thorn in everybody's side because the cards were extremely, significantly more expensive than the 10 series when it first came out, and it offered very little when it came to the whole price to performance thing. So it's just because AMD just hasn't been able to compete in that same realm to have that high end card at a relatively fair price. And when that happens, Nvidia will have to respond. But
If they can.
but
This is what they've been doing for years. Selling down mid-tier cards for higher tier prices. And this is what they do. This is how they make their money. I know some people are gonna get angry, but that's what they do. I don't know why I can't believe they did this. They've been doing it for years. This isn't just they just did it. They've been doing this. They just got caught. Okay? It's like someone speeding. You don't just, one day I'm gonna decide to speed. You've been speeding. You just got caught. Okay? And they pulled an Amazon, like Amazon unlaunched that game and pulled it back and canceled it.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say, man.
So it's weird times, but anything else before we go on to our next topic?
Stop buying graphics cards before actually comparing what they're doing and what you're getting out of it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, don't
For people, just wait. Just wait.
Pre-ordering video games is bad enough. Pre-ordering graphics cards or any PC component for that matter is just kind of crazy. You can't go off the spec sheet of what the manufacturer is telling you, because of course they're going to talk it up. They want to sell it to people. You wouldn't talk about the downfalls of your product. If you were trying to sell it to people, it's just bad for business.
For me, I'm not even going that far. I'm just saying, like, most of the time, your graphics card's update is not high enough. Like, the amount of performance you're getting from what you already have, unless what you had was so shit that you kind of need the upgrade. It's like a 10-15% boost from what you were doing before. And what games are you playing where you need that 10-15% boost that you're willing to spend $1,000 or more for it? That's the problem. It's just it's kind of like, is it worth it? But it is what it is. I hate saying that.
Yeah. So Razer announced their new gaming handheld, which is
You mean their Steam clone? I mean their Steam Deck clone?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's basically just a smartphone with like a backbone controller attached to it. Essentially, what it is. But as they usually do, they talk it. They were talking it up. But it's their new handheld. It's their new cloud-based handheld. which can also play games locally. So it's running these Snapdragon, one of the new Snapdragon chips, which they're acting like this is some magical thing, but it just seems to be the way I heard it. It just seems to be a common chip among the higher end of the Snapdragon chips. So, what do you think of it?
Of the chips?
Or no, the Razer handheld.
I mean, more competition is always good. I'm not necessarily wedded to the idea of, oh my god, this is the best shit ever. I'm just like, fine. I mean, it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's fine. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I gotta say that this is one of those like, they need to calm down with these handhelds. Just there's so many out there. I need to craps one out every 2 months. GPD craps one out every 2 months, 2 to 3 months. It seems like.
The thing is like it's kind of like back in the day when Nintendo was really successful with their with the Game Boy. So everyone was like, I'm gonna make a handheld too.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. I mean, the Switch definitely played a big part, but I think the Steam Deck, when that came out, that really, it really put pedal to the metal when it came to a lot of these handheld devices, and some of these handheld devices, are pretty nice. The big thing, which might be a benefit for using Android, since Android uses less power, but one of the big things that hold these handhelds back, especially more so the Windows devices, is the battery consumption, because Windows is a resource hog. It eats battery like a fat kid on a candy cloud. Like it's it eats resources like a fat kid on a candy cloud.
Yeah. And the Linux, since Android is technically kind of a derivative of Unix and Linux, that can work with Windows shit, that's kind of like the, people are really into that. But what I feel about it is, I want this shit to be good, but will it be good?
Yeah. So here are the specs of this device. So display 6.88 inch FHD. So resolution is at 1440p. Runs at 144 hertz. AMOLED display. Chip Snapdragon G3X Gen 1. So I think it's their own proprietary custom chip. I don't know. I would have to do more research on it. RAM, 8 gigs of RAM, battery, 5,000 milliamp battery, storage 128 gigs, expandable up to 2 terabytes. So I'm guessing you're going to be able to expand it with a micro SD card. Has a front-facing camera, 5 megapixels, connectivity. It has a Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2, subset, and there will be a 5G one in the future. So yeah, that's a.
So this isn't really a Steam competitor. This is a gaming smartphone.
Yeah, it's a game. It's really just a gaming smartphone with and a controller and a gaming handheld form factor is what it is.
Yeah, it's a gaming smartphone.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they said 5G, I'm like, why the fuck would a gaming handheld need a phone connection? Because typically when someone says 5G, I'm like, oh, that's a phone connection.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not going to cast aspersions on it, but you're basically selling people a gaming phone. And I've never seen a gaming phone that did well.
Yeah, I mean, I do hear about them. Problem with gaming phones is, you have to, like, the nice thing about this comes with the controller. It comes with a proper controller and whatnot, obviously attached to it. Versus the phone, where you have to buy all the accessories in order to really use it as a gaming device. And they usually come out. They're usually around $800, $800 or so out the gate. So. $800,
yeah,
$900.
And plus they're always gaming phones are always behind the 8 ball, because the fact of the matter is that by the time you release a gaming phone, there will be a normal phone released within that same year that shits on the specs of the gaming phone.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna have, it's got controllers hooked up to it and all that shit, if you're gonna do all that, by the time you do all that, you might as well just if you're gonna do all that, at that point you might as well just freaking just get a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Or a Switch.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Steam Deck and the Switch is you'll have a lot more access to to some of the more mainstream games. Like, I know some of these companies like Microsoft and Sony are looking at mobile for, some of their games, but it's just probably going to be a bunch of gacha games and like
bullshit.
It's
going to be a bunch of bullshit.
smaller experiences so that to attract people to their bigger games. Yeah, so to their consoles and stuff. So it'll probably just be used as some kind of advertisement, a form of advertisement, more so than them taking it as a serious platform like their PlayStation or Xbox platforms.
Here's what I'm going to say. I have not seen a mobile game yet that is as deep and fun to play as a dedicated handheld or console game.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it yet.
No.
Doesn't exist. I don't think.
There are some people who be like, yeah, I mean, there are some games out there, you have, and they'll start naming off games that ended up just coming to Steam and consoles anyway, because that's, because they're actual games that, people.
No, I understand that, but a lot of the. I understand that, but a lot of the games that people are like, oh my god, this game was a mobile game and it came to PC or it came to console. Really think about it. Most of those games that came out on PC and console, they had to make significant changes to those games to get people to want to spend money on them on a console or PC, right?
Yeah.
And also, those games were, like, a lot of them are kind of shit. I mean,
yeah, I mean, they're not necessarily as interesting, I would say, than, a game that of its kind that would have been They're not as interesting as games of its kind had it been built from the ground up to work on consoles and PC. Like, what was that Zelda clone game?
Einhorn.
Ironhorn. I mean, that was okay, I guess. I mean, they play a little
But
bit.
it felt like a
never
mobile
really-
game. You're playing
Yeah.
it. It's like, this is a fucking mobile game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is, you have people, and because mobile games just seems to be a free for all. Like, it's. I guess the problem with not having maybe it's not so much not having exclusive content, but not having some kind of standard when it comes to games in general. Because thing about mobile games is it's just anybody could. I don't know. What is it about mobile game? Is it just because anybody can make one, or is it just because the form factor of the mobile handheld?
Ease of use. It's
Yeah.
ease of access.
Ease of access.
Like, you don't have to try hard. You do not have to try hard in order to get your hands on a like one of my. I'll keep it real. There's one mobile game I do enjoy playing because it's very easy to get into and it's not, it's not hard. It's called Pixel Dungeon, and in Pixel Dungeon, you choose one of 4 classes and you fight your way through a dungeon.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay? You fight your way through a dungeon. Okay? And you can play as one of 4 characters. A warrior, a mage, a ranger, or an archer or a thief. And then as you play the game, you fight your way through the dungeon through 25 floors. At the bottom floor, you fight a mega boss. Every 5 floors, you fight a normal boss. Once you get to the 25th floor, you fight a mega boss. You get an artifact, and then you fight your way back upstairs to the exit. Or you can end the game there and be like, hey, whatever. And it's a fun little time waster, But it's really easy to get into. You don't have to do a lot of shit to play it. And that's what people want. People want ease of access, just go and do it and call it a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
People don't want all that bullshit. Oh, well, so-and-so did this. People ain't got time for all that.
No.
And I don't know why people keep on whining and complaining. People with those sorry-ass excuses. Well, mobile games, man. No one is going out of their way to play a mobile game on a home. Remember that game, Infinity Edge?
What was that? Was that the Unreal game?
Yeah, that was that Unreal game that was like, it came on the Apple Apple Store first.
Yeah.
And then they friggin' put it on whatever it was called. Then they brought it on home consoles, and no one gave a shit. 'Cause it's like, that's the niche for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing about that game is I remember people were like, man, I think it's look how much more powerful the iPad is to the Wii U. And it was literally just a super limited
Slight
view.
game.
Yeah. It's just, it wasn't like some kind of open world game. It was just, I think it was like a dueling game or something like that. So it's not like it's not like there was a lot happening. So, but yeah. I think, again, this device is going to be used, the Razer, going back to the Razer, it's going to be used for emulation and cloud gaming for most people. It's probably going to be mostly be used for emulation. So, I don't know. Like you said, more competition is better. Um,
Yeah.
so, but at the same time, are these handhelds? Is it too much? Is there too many options out there? Um, this is this is going to overwhelm the market. Maybe, maybe not. There'll
No.
be like some who will survive, and then there's some who will just go.
Some things will die, some things will live.
Yeah.
Just like, remember back at, well, I don't know how old you are. Back in the day, you had the Game Boy, and you had all the Game Boy clones. And the Game Boy kept on rolling along. The Game Gear, the Nomad, all that shit died off. The Wonder Swan.
Yeah. Wonder Swan probably could have been a competitor to the Game Boy if the guy.
Yeah, if Yokoi hadn't died,
yeah,
that would have been the closest you would have got. But that's because the original creator of the Game Boy was working on it.
yeah. So, next topic, the Series S is a potato. So there was a developer, Gotham Knights, that came out bitching and moaning that because people were upset that the game was only 30 FPS on consoles, and the developer came out crying about how the Series S is holding him back, and we can't, because of the Series S, we have to be in parity or some BS, and we can't have 60 FPS for for the other consoles. It can't be unlocked. It's just kind of like, it's just it's the same BS we've heard with other platforms.
There's so much bullshit to unpack there. Allow me to elaborate, okay? What was the highest selling console of the 6th gen?
The PlayStation. Wait, no, the
PS2.
PS2.
What was the most powerful console of the 6th gen?
It's a debate between the Xbox and the GameCube. It depends.
But it was definitely not the PS2, right?
It was definitely not the PS2.
Okay. What was the system that dominated the 7th gen?
It was the Wii.
What was the most powerful system of the 7th gen?
The PlayStation 3.
So the fact that this guy is bitching and complaining about power with your console because your developers are too fucking lazy to actually optimize your code. So instead of optimizing your code, you'd rather just use the brute force of the system to push through whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it really is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just complaining about not your job being done for you, essentially. It's I don't. The thing is, right? So when you have for example, when you have a card that doesn't support ray tracing, that option on computers is grayed out, because I know a lot of these consoles have options to either higher the resolution or if you want to have high resolution but less frame rate, then you can have that. Or if you want to have more frame rate and less resolution, you can have that. Surely, because again, this is all AMD stuff that these consoles are running on. So I mean, where's your
the Switch is using
the Switch is using an NVIDIA mobile chip, but
which was obsolete like 7 years ago.
But in any case, the PS5 and the Xbox Series systems are using AMD 3000 chips, I think. Because here's side rant. Computer companies, get better at naming your products. You're terrible at it. But in any case, Yeah, they're using the same AMD stuff. It's obviously cut down on the Xbox Series S, and I'm surprised you couldn't create a mode that would just gray out a certain option if it couldn't run on the Series S. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these developers these days.
Here's the thing. They don't care about that. They want to do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
All right? They want to do the bare minimum and get paid for doing the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently he was tweeting, he got caught tweeting about it, and he had to take his the post down because, like, you can't be shitting on a company that
gives you money.
With. Yeah, we can't be doing that. Like, this doesn't look good. And there's another.
And who is this? What studio does he work for?
It's the studio that's making Gotham Knight. I don't know the name of the
Gotham
studio.
Knight. So basically, Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Okay. So essentially, rather than actually do your fucking job, okay?
Yeah.
And work on optimizing, or just say, hey, we can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we can't do it, and moving the fuck on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think you're the first person who said, hey, can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was the story I heard about Plague's Tale, the sequel Plague's Tale, having some optimization issues, and talking about how, again, the video I was listening to, the guy was talking about how, the Series S might be holding things back, and it's just kind of like, I don't.
That may be the case, but guess what? The Series S is selling gangbusters because it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's the cheapest.
And people want to play those games, and they don't care. They're just like, I just want to play my damn game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why do you want people to be... Why do they want people to spend huge sums of money to enjoy their vision? Fuck your vision.
It's one of the
Make a game.
It's one of the easiest consoles to get a hold of right now is the Series S. So,
and a Switch.
Yeah, and the Switch as well.
Don't do that. And we talking about that. I'm like, man, quit bitching. Just a little bitch.
Yeah.
All it is, it's called his developer bitches because he doesn't want to put the effort in. Or, if you can't do it, you just can't do it. Just look, man, we couldn't do it. Yeah. We tried, we couldn't do it. There's nothing wrong with saying you can't do something.
Yeah.
A poor chef blames his ingredients.
Yeah. Yeah.
But whatever.
In any case, do you have any free topics before we close out the show tonight?
Let's see. I do have a free topic. It's pertaining to one of my favorite companies to bitch about because they never stop fucking up. Bethesda. Because they won't stop fucking up. So Bethesda, essentially speaking, did some shit where I'm like, I gotta talk about this because they've been fucking up yet again. It's the CEO and founder of Obsidian, Fergus Urquhart, who's one of the main guys who created the original Fallout, basically was like, hey man, I would love to work on a new Fallout game. People got mad. People were saying, well, Fallout is bad because the other shit that came out, like the Outer Worlds, wasn't good. I'm like, yeah, but the Outer Worlds was better than any of the shit Bethesda's come out with and called Fallout for years at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I would rather play Fallout. I'd rather play the Outer Worlds. I would rather play the Outer Worlds again than play fucking Fallout 3 or Fallout 4. Because Fallout 4 is shit.
Yeah.
And my point is this. I don't know why people are so wedded to the idea. Bethesda has done a shit job with that franchise. Okay, yeah. Fallout 76 should have been, oh, these people don't really know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it should be frankly clear that they don't deserve the IP anymore. So why don't they just give it to somebody who actually gives a shit?
That'd be nice. Be nice.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, if you don't care, why hold the shit hostage?
Yeah.
And I'll say this about anything. I'll say this about Nintendo with Eternal Darkness. Nintendo hasn't done shit with Eternal Darkness for years. Just let it go, man.
Yeah, exactly.
They keep on renewing the thing. They haven't even re-released Eternal Darkness. Let it go. Let someone else do something with it, because y'all ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
But, whatever. Anyway, that's all I want to say. You have any thoughts on it? Opinions? Disagreements? Don't care?
I always thought Fallout Kid was just Oblivion with guns. Like
what, Fallout 3?
Yeah.
I mean, it was. It used the same engine.
Like, this game doesn't look very good to me. All of Bethesda's games look boring and repetitive, and just like everybody creams all over them, talking about how great they are and how well thought out the world is, and you know, they make excuses for them, saying, well, there's so many things going on, you have all these dialogue trees, this is why things get. And then you look at a game like Divinity Original Sin,
it shits all over Bethesda, and it's like, oh, well, these guys just suck.
Yeah, it's just like that uses the same engine, and you know, it's just kind of like, well, we don't get nearly the same amount of problems in this game.
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, it uses the same engine, and it runs much better. But it just proves that Bethesda are just shitty developers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why people are still like, no, Bethesda, they're good. It's like, they aren't, though.
Yeah.
They're terrible developers.
Yeah.
Please stop trying to hype up Bethesda like they're good developers. They are not good developers. They suck. You don't believe me? Go play a Bethesda game and notice how they have, like, you'll see the same fucking bugs and glitches in their games. Disappearing textures, and that's because they use the same engine and they don't update the damn engine. They refuse to update the damn engines. They absolutely refuse. They're like, oh no, they're gonna, like, I guarantee the next Starfield, you're not gonna be able to climb up a ladder. Because that would take effort. Or, you know, like, and this is something, like, have you ever noticed that if you play, like, an open world 3D game, you don't go up steps? Like, the steps are just a ramp with step textures put over it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially with today's tech, I always kind of find that kind of lazy.
I mean, have you noticed that no one has been able to crack steps or a ladder. That's why Xenoblade Chronicles X is such an amazing game. It actually has a ladder.
Yeah.
You can climb up a damn ladder.
You can climb up. Yeah. Just simply climb up a ladder.
It's a small thing, but it actually serves a purpose.
When you kind of slip up on small things like that, kind of breaks the immersion a little bit.
Yeah, people forget. People have this false belief that you have to have great graphics, but it's little small details that make a game worth playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can have heavily stylized graphics, and it might not have the greatest of textures or have the greatest visuals, but if you do have those smaller details, like, especially when it comes to storytelling, when you have side quests that, have affect the main quest, or when and stuff like that, making the world feel alive. It makes a difference.
Little small things can drag a game from being good to being great.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. Like Fallout New Vegas, the reputation system actually helps that game be better because, like, how you're treated, how your reputation matters. Like, there's some fights where if you're badass enough and your reputation has gone up enough, dudes won't fuck with you. People see you come, it's like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Oh, I heard about you. Oh, no, man, you just keep on going. I'm going to leave you the hell alone.
Yeah.
It's a small thing, and yet it makes the game so much better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why gamers don't want more. They're perfectly happy with mediocrity.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just happy with them doing the bare minimum. And I'm like, why? Because I don't know about you, but I'm not happy with the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why are you accepting the bare minimum? Like, why are you accepting games where the developers didn't stretch themselves?
Yeah. 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 But my free topic is rumors of a mid-gen refresh. It needed to stop. It needed to stop. This is some crazy stuff. So there are rumors of a mid-gen refresh of the PS4, or not the PS4, but the PS5 and Xbox Series console, and I'm just kind of like, why? Just focus on, especially the PlayStation. It's like, just focus on getting your systems out. That you already have. Like, why do the mid-gen refresh? Like, what?
Well, I know Sony wants to do it.
Yeah.
Sony wants a mid-gen refresh because if they can release a cheaper, stripped-down version of the PS5 that can still play PS5 games, they can make some money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Microsoft is like, look, we're perfectly happy with this, with what we got. Because with what we got, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I know why the Switch Pro rumors came out. so fast is because, people are disappointed with the
lack of
graphics.
power for the
Lack of
handheld.
power. Yeah.
How some games run like absolute ass on the
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah. I mean, people
First party games, by the way. These are not third party. Yeah, I mean, I can understand it because people want, people want to be able to play a game and not have the shit just be like failing miserably. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, it's kind of weird that they're talking about pro consoles. Now, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think Sony might release a pro console. I don't think Microsoft's gonna do it
Yeah, I mean,
because they have no
it's,
incentive to.
Yeah.
Not when most of the consoles they have coming out. The reason people buy an Xbox at this point is because, for streaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't need a lot of power to stream. You just need low latency.
Yeah.
And you can achieve that just by having, better VRAM.
Well, in any case, yeah.
But that's my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we call it a night?
No, that's it. Just had that opinion.
All right.
People need to stop bitching and complaining. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, give her a sign off and we'll call it a night.
All right, yeah, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters, and I'm glad to be on another cast. Thank you for having me. The next podcast for my channel is going to be Wednesday. We'll be talking about, more BS Buster stuff. That's going to be fun, I think.
And this is Kenoshi Bobanita. Glad to have you, Mr. Red Fox. And this has been episode 50 of Project Console. And we will see you next week, next Tuesday, same time. Have a good week, have a good weekend, and have a good life. Later.